What's up, everybody? It's Philip Randolph, and it's 10 Minutes to Vent. And today we're going to be talking about a controversial topic. Some people might want to chime in on, some people might not want to chime in on. But today we're going to be talking about marriage and what's the perfect age, okay, or the perfect time to get married, right? Like I say before, and like I say in all of my podcasts, there's no right or wrong answer at any time of the podcast. Please leave your comment below. Like I say, this is a judgment-free zone. We're just here to vent. That's why it's called 10 Minutes to Vent. But anyway, getting back on topic, what's the perfect age or the perfect time to get married? Now, in my opinion, I believe there's no perfect time. There's really no perfect time. Everybody has their opinion. I'm a full believer in when you know, you do know, because you do have that feeling. Now, this is a topic for only the people who do aspire and who want to get married in the near future, or who wants to get married later on. It doesn't matter. I tell people all the time, take your time when it comes to commitment, and to a commitment like this, because this is a higher level of committing to a person. All right. And my personal opinion is, like I said before, when you know, you know, but don't be in a rush. And I'm only speaking for myself. And like I always say before, like I'm speaking to my son, my future grandkids and everything. So whenever they look me up, they can get advice from me. And that's after I leave this earth, right? They still have advice from me that they can look up on YouTube and share with others. But my personal opinion, and it's from learning from others as well, okay? As a man, you want to make sure that you have all of your priorities set, right? And you want to have your business handled. And when I say your business handled, that means you want to make sure that you have your finances up to par. And it doesn't have to be at the highest level, but it does need to be up to par. You need to make sure that you have housing, right? You need to have transportation. And you need to make sure that you have your skill set at a level where if one skill that you can perform is not working, you can go to another skill set and still perform where your skill is still paying the bills, okay? There's an old saying, they say that your skills will pay the bills, and that's right. Your skills will definitely pay the bills, but you have to make sure that you are sharpening up your skills every single day, all right? You don't want to slack when it comes to skill set. You don't want to slack when it comes to finance, all right? Finance and infidelity are the number one killers and the number one reasons why couples break up in marriages. And yeah, so you want to make sure that you have, I always say you want to make sure that you have a nice financial background. When I say background, you have to create that. It doesn't matter what your parents did. What do you have? So you want to make sure that you're financially set, and you don't have to be the richest person in the world, but you want to make sure that you do have a nice, comfortable amount ready just in case. All right. Now, it's never going to be all peaches and cream. But when you have that set, and I'm a full believer in it. I mean, money is not everything, but it's a big part of everything. Okay. And I like to think about it like this. Whenever you go to an arcade, right? You want to have fun. But if you only have a certain amount of tokens, now you're limited on the fun that you can have. All right? I always say this as well. If you want to have fun, you want to have those funds. Funds. If you want to have fun, Fun, you got to have those funds. Funds. Okay? And the reason why is because whenever you do have a proper amount of funds, you can have more funds. You have more options. When you don't, you're limited in the things that you can do. Okay? And I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you're limited. So, yeah, you might love that individual, but are you really financially prepared to bring that person on board with you? Because it's going to cost more time and more money. It is. So if you're not ready, chill. Chill. Continue to stack your bread, continue to stack your funds, continue to make plans and to accomplish your goals. Now, if I had to say so myself, a perfect age, and like I said, there's no perfect age, but if I had to pick a perfect age to be married, I would say like 40 ish. 40. Even 50 is a great age to get married, in my opinion. A lot of people say you want to get married before 40 or before 30, but is that how you really feel, or is that what society is pushing on you? You know, even 60 is a great age, in my opinion, to get married. Now, am I going to take that advice? Probably not. I'm probably going to get married way before that. But 60 is still a great age. Why? You have your finances together. You're ready to settle down. You don't really want to play around anymore. You're ready to, just to chill. But at the end of the day, it's not just up to you as a person too. 'Cause especially if you love somebody and y'all still have a mutual love for one another, you know, this is a decision that both of y'all need to talk about. But my thing is, never be rushed. Never be rushed. I'll never forget. This happened about 3 years ago, 2022, and I was with my BM at the time, and everything's good. I don't hate her or nothing like that. There's no beef or nothing. I still love her. So yeah, I still love her. Still got love for her and everything like that. But it just didn't work. So anyway, getting back on that, we was witnessing a lot of marriages that year alone when we was together, and she was ready to get married. Of course, we've been together for so long, and she's been telling me she was ready to get married, but I was not ready to get married. I wasn't ready to get married financially. I knew that I needed to make sure that I had enough funds to get married. And when I say that, I'm not even just talking about the wedding. I'm talking about all the other things that's attached to marriage. I wasn't ready, and still to this day, man, I'm not ready to get married. But going back to the situation that I'm talking about, whenever you witnessing other people that get married and you're going to weddings, that vibe hits you and you want to do it yourself. So she was like, well, look, we don't even have to have a big wedding. We can go to the courthouse. So I was like, all right. I didn't have a social security card at the time, so I went ahead and ordered another social security card so we could go to the wedding. It's not good, so we could go to the wedding so we could get married. We was just going to do the courthouse thing. My thing is, I told her I just want to make sure that we have counseling before we do that. I said, now my dad does counseling, but we don't have to go to my dad because I don't want it to be biased because that's my dad. We can find anybody. So we never went through with all that. And to be honest, guys, I wasn't ready. I was just going to do it because I didn't want her to feel like I didn't love her or I didn't really want to marry her. I've been telling her that, but I was just going to go along with it. And I'm telling y'all this because as a man, never feel rushed. Don't feel like you have to do something. All right? You should want to do it. And like anytime you married, you bring in two together, the female, the male should want to join together as one. Both should feel mutual. Both should feel the same about that because this is a sacred moment. All right? Your two families are joining. Okay? So, you're joining and you're becoming one. So y'all both should feel the same about what's about to happen. I didn't the whole time. Now, to make a long story short, we never did get married. We never went to the courthouse or nothing like that. The breakup happened like I want to say about 6 months after. It happened in 22, so about 6 months after or whatever like that. And I ain't gonna lie, I was really hurt. I was hurt because we was together for so long. But what I learned about that is, after that happened, is I wanted to work hard. Now, last year, I've been working the hardest I've ever worked. I'm talking about tunnel vision. But I'm still not there yet. Now, some people say, well, you might not never be ready. Well, I can't really say that because whenever you're ready, you definitely know you're ready. Whenever you're ready to perform, you've been practicing stuff, you know that you're ready. So don't let people talk you out of your goal of you being tunnel vision because you know what you need. All right. That lady knows what she needs and what she wants when it comes to marriage. As a man, you have to be willing to know what you want and are you really ready? Okay? Don't rush because whenever you rush, things doesn't turn out right. We have a lot of examples of that. Things don't turn out right. So I'm gonna say again, what's the perfect age? What's the perfect time? And my response to that, there's no perfect time. When you know, you know. Okay? Shoot, it could be at 25. It could be at 23. It could be at 33. It could be at 53. It could be at 63. You never know. Do you have a person that's willing to work with you? Do you have a person that's willing to become one with you so y'all can grow? Are y'all willing to grow? Do y'all want the same things? Okay. Now, of course, you're going to have to compromise in a relationship. That's with any relationship, whether it be married, business, friendship. But it shouldn't be a one-way street. Okay. Y'all both should want the same thing. And until you find somebody who wants the same thing as you do, right? Keep your options open, right? Keep your options open and stay tunnel vision. Stay focused on your goals. Okay.